This evening, tragic accident claims 3 lives in Craig Public Road collision. Acting Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken tenure extended. President Ali engages boat owners affected by Vreed-en-Hoop Stelling fire. In the region, Colombia tries new approach to halt Amazon rainforest destruction. And internationally, Philippines summons China ENVOY after water cannon incident in disputed sea. Welcome to this broadcast of Headline News Update for August 8, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight's newscast with tragic news. A deadly collision on the Craig Public Road on the east bank of Demerara results in the loss of several individuals, all from Essequibo. Dale Jarvis has more details.
3 persons lost their lives in a fatal accident on the Craig Public Road, East Bank Demerara on Monday, August 7, 2023. Dead are 60-year-old Eric Christopher Thomas, 56-year-old Annette Williams, and Lynette Chappell, age unknown, all of Charity, squatting area, Essequibo. The accident involved motor lorry GYY 9560, driven by 21-year-old Tyrese Bess, and motor car PPP 3034, driven by 57-year-old Stanley LaCruz of Monrepo Pasture, East Coast Demerara. Inquiries disclosed that around 9 p.m., the motor car driven by LaCruz with 5 others in vehicle, 3 adults and 2 children, was proceeding south along the eastern side of the Craig Public Road. LaCruz allegedly made a U-turn and in the process collided with a motor lorry which was proceeding north along the western side of the said road. As a result of the collision, all of the car's occupants received injuries to their bodies. They were all taken to the Diamond Diagnostic Center along with the driver of the vehicle. They were all seen and examined by a doctor on duty. Eric Christopher Thomas and Annette Williams were pronounced dead on arrival. Lynette Chappell died whilst receiving treatment. Their bodies are at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home awaiting post-mortem examinations. The 2 children, ages 7 and 13, and the driver were treated for minor injuries and sent away. Both drivers were administered breathalyzer tests and no trace of alcohol were detected in their system. The lorry and the car were lodged at the police station to be examined. Both drivers are presently in police custody assisting with the ongoing investigation. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali on Monday met with several boat operators and owners whose vessels were destroyed in the fire on August 1, 2023 at the Vreed-en-Hoop West Coast Demerara Stelling. After discussions, it was agreed that the senior minister in the office of the president with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, and local banking and insurance sector representatives would meet with the boat owners and operators next week to explore options for support. The early morning fire of unknown origin erupted at the Vreed-en-Hoop Stelling on the west coast of Demerara on Emancipation Day. When the Guyana Fire Service arrived, several boats were already ablaze, and the fire swiftly spread to 19 vessels docked at the Stelling. 13 boats were destroyed while 6 sustained partial damage. The fire originated from the rear end of a vessel docked at the southern side of the Stelling. Some individuals suspect that the fire may have been an act of arson, as thick smoke was seen before the fire broke out. A watchman responsible for the vessel where the fire started was taken into custody at the Vreed-en-Hoop police outpost to aid the ongoing investigations. However, fire prevention officers are yet to determine the exact cause of the fire, requiring further examination. Additionally, Minister Singh and representatives from the banking and insurance sectors will also meet with the victims of Parika Market Fire, which occurred in February of this year, to explore options for support. On a different note, President Ali has extended the tenure of Commissioner of Police Acting Clifton Hicken, who turned 55, the retirement age, on July 22, 2023. President Ali communicated his decision during an Arthur Chung Convention Center event, stating that he had issued a letter to extend Hicken's services. Hicken has been acting as Commissioner of Police since March of 2022, succeeding Deputy Commissioner Nigel Hoppy. The Guyana Police Force expressed confidence in Hicken's leadership, professionalism, and transformational qualities, emphasizing his proactive approach to policing and positive impact on the force's infrastructure. The Guyana Police Force commended Hicken for his dedication to the role and the improvements he has made during his tenure. Stick around when we return. Ministry strengthens fight against gender-based violence, and President Ali swears in local leaders.
when you need money and you gotta get it fast. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radika went to the supermarket and she probably buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali administered the oath of office to newly elected mayors, deputy mayors, and the vice chairman of Region 10 at the Arthur Chung Convention Center on Monday. President Ali emphasized collaboration between local leaders and the central government for development in his address. He highlighted the importance of effective local governance in spreading community development benefits. The president stressed the role of town councils in upholding good governance, providing essential services, and fostering thriving communities. He warned against detachment from national development and urged alignment with constituents' needs. President Ali underscored the need for municipalities and neighborhood democratic councils to understand the government's policy agenda and national development priorities. He called on the new leaders to deliver positive changes, especially in infrastructure, drainage, markets, daycare centers, waste disposal, and community enhancement. The president also acknowledged government's transformation efforts in housing, infrastructure, education, and healthcare sectors. The appointment of Mark Goring as the new vice chairman of Region 10 was noted, replacing the late Douglas Gittins. In other news, the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security is intensifying efforts to combat gender-based violence through a comprehensive referral pathway training program. The training at the PAMS Geriatric Institution in Georgetown gathered around 70 participants, including social workers, medical professionals, education officials, and joint services members. Minister Dr. Vindya Prasad emphasized the importance of unified action for a seamless response to gender-based violence. She highlighted significant strides made over the past 3 years, such as establishing a toll-free hotline number 914 and the launch of the iMatter app, which provides citizens with access to resources and features a panic button for emergencies. Minister Prasad announced the goal of training 2,000 officers by the end of the year, focusing on unbiased and effective support for victims. The ministry's effort extends beyond response to prevention, which includes proactive programs targeting at-risk individuals and a forthcoming initiative to rehabilitate perpetrators. Meanwhile, the minister announced the launch of the Hope and Justice Shelter. In this pioneering one-stop model, survivors can access various services under one roof, further reflecting the commitment to addressing gender-based violence comprehensively. Don't go away after the break. While poverty rises in Sri Lanka, government says the economy is on the mend. And Philippines summons China envoy after water cannon incident in disputed sea.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour. And then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Colombia has managed to reduce deforestation by 30% in the past year. Environment Minister Susana Mohammed told Al Jazeera that combating the illegal logging industry and working with local communities are priorities for Colombia's first left-wing president, Gustavo Petro. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports.
Colonel Alexander Obando Sanchez is on the front line of the Colombian fight against deforestation. He's in charge of operations in the Guaviare region in the Amazon rainforest. Sanchez says he's working with prosecutors and specialized officers to combat environmental crimes.
We are looking at money launderers so we can confiscate their property and they repay the damage they are doing to the Amazon.
His unit also controls all the wood that leaves the areas, as well as rescuing endangered species. After the government signed a peace agreement with the left-wing rebel group the FARC in 2016, millions of hectares of land in this area were destroyed and pristine forests were replaced with cattle and grass to feed them. The government now is trying a different approach, and rather than prosecuting small farmers, they're going after those who finance deforestation. Colombia managed to reduce deforestation by 30% in the past year. Environment Minister Susana Mohammed told Al Jazeera that combating the illegal logging industry and working with local communities are priorities for Colombia's first left-wing president, Gustavo Petro.
We are not going to legalize land that has been deforested so that its price increases. And this is a clear message that we have sent. The other side is the peasants, the communities that have more a culture of increasing the agricultural frontier, but they are really low income, not very productive.
Placing local communities at the forefront of the fight against land grabs is also part of the plan. Olmes Rodriguez is a community leader. He has been working with local NGOs to reforest areas close to a national park.
The government has good intentions, but there are lots of people who want it to fail, who are part of the business and are in Congress, because they make the laws, but then they are the ones who do not respect them.
The government has also the task of protecting people like Rodriguez, as Colombia is one of the most dangerous countries in the world for environmental activists. Hundreds have been killed in the last decade. Colombia's forests have also been a victim of the war and the violence that have plagued this country's history. Many hope, this time, the political will be enough to revert the damage that has already been done. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Guaviare, Colombia.
Internationally, a year after Sri Lanka failed to pay its international debts, the government said the economy is on the mend. The nearly $3 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund is restoring some confidence, but extensive economic reforms have left the poorest communities struggling to survive. Al Jazeera's Manili Fernandez has more.
Mercy Pereira is struggling to keep the home fires burning. Her electricity has been disconnected because she couldn't pay her bill, which has increased in recent months. When Al Jazeera met her last year, she was supplying food to a local eatery. Now,
I had to give up selling string hoppers. Gas, kerosene, flour and a lot of prices increased, so I couldn't manage. Now I provide meals to some students who are lodging nearby. I'm managing with great difficulty.
Mercy's plight is common among hundreds of thousands of Sri Lankans, not just the poorest. President Ranil Wickremesinghe and his government say they have turned the economy around. The recovery plan has seen inflation, which peaked at 65% last year, falling to single digits for the first time since 2021. But poverty has increased to 25% and a large number of people have lost their jobs. The situation has been a challenge for those running the government's social welfare program, which has tried to cushion those worst affected.
When we compare with the last 5 years, you know that we had a safety net program for the poor and poorest people, only about 1.7 or 2 million, right? But this time, we called the application, we received 3.7 million.
Analysts say things have been stabilized, but warn there is much more that needs to be done before Sri Lanka is on the road to recovery.
We have stopped things getting worse at the speed they were, but have we turned around? I think, Minette, we haven't yet turned around, because turning the corner would mean that we have stopped reducing our GDP, but up to the second quarter of this year, GDP kept contracting. That means we also were losing jobs in the economy month on month.
Despite the sharp drop in inflation and interest rates, prices remain high.
1 year on, the government says things are on the mend. There are no more queues, inflation has fallen, and worker remittances have increased. But many people here are still struggling to earn a living. Minna Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And finally, Manila has summoned Beijing's ambassador a day after Chinese Coast Guard blocked and used water cannon on Philippine vessels in the disputed South China Sea. This is according to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The Philippines on Saturday accused China's Coast Guard of using water cannon to block its vessel carrying food, water, fuel, and other supplies for its military personnel. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Liu reports from Manila.
This is the moment a Chinese Coast Guard ship used water cannon on a civilian vessel chartered by the Philippine Navy. It was one of 2 boats on a resupply mission to 2nd Thomas Shoal, where Filipino troops are stationed in a decommissioned Navy ship which was sunk nearly 25 years ago to stake their nation's claim in the South China Sea. Officials say both were blocked by China, along with 2 Coast Guard vessels.
The Philippine vessels were subjected to repeated water cannoning and continuous dangerous maneuvers by the Chinese Coast Guard and Chinese militia vessels, placing the lives of the crew of the Philippines vessels in danger in violation of humanitarian and international law.
In February, the Philippines said the Chinese Navy pointed a military-grade laser at Filipino sailors, causing temporary blindness. In the months following that incident, the 2 sides had at least 2 other close calls at sea. The Philippine Coast Guard says this is nothing new. But under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., they're encouraged to publicize it. Marcos has pivoted back to a more U.S.-friendly foreign policy, allowing U.S. troops access to the country's bases, in sharp contrast with his predecessor, Rodrigo Duterte's pro-China stance. This is far from the first time the Philippines has accused China of harassing Filipino vessels in the South China Sea. Government leaders in Manila have already filed dozens of diplomatic protests against Beijing this year, and nearly 450 since 2020. The Chinese Coast Guard insists the Philippine vessels entered Chinese waters illegally. The Philippine Foreign Ministry has summoned the Chinese ambassador and says it will keep protesting as long as it has to.
It's important for the Philippines to continually assert what is rightfully ours. And the policy of this government is very clear. As they said, not 1 inch of our territory should actually be handed over to China.
Foreign allies like Japan, Australia, and the European Union were quick to condemn China and stressed the legally binding nature of a 2016 international ruling. That decision invalidated Beijing's sweeping claims in the South China Sea. It was based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, to which China is a signatory. The U.S. State Department has also stressed its commitment to defend its longtime ally if the need arises. Barnaby Low, Al Jazeera, Manila.
That brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 headline news for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.